The news, and it is everywhere. Now, Clonaid, a company backed by a group called the Raelian religious movement, claims to have produced a human clone. But so far, there's been no evidence to prove that. But could that all change today?
I'm very, very pleased to announce that the first baby clone is born.
Can that be true? Or is it some kind of twisted tale made up by a group of people calling themselves the Raelians? Late last year, Raelian Bishop Dr. Brigitte Boisselier announced that a biotechnology company named Clonaid had done it. The Raelians believe that humans evolved from aliens through cloning. Cloning leads to eternal life. Their spiritual leader, 56-year-old former race car driver and journalist Rael, founded the organization after he allegedly was abducted by aliens in 1973. But many are suspect of their claims and are opposed to their practices.
The human race is not open for experimentation, and manufacture of human beings at any level, even the embryonic level, is wrong.
If it is true, though, it's extraordinarily disturbing and sad, actually, that some fringe group would go ahead and try to do an experiment that virtually every scientist in the world said was irresponsible and dangerous to do.
Human cloning. The debate continues. Now we're going to get answers from members of the Raelian movement, including the Vice-president of Clonaid, Thomas Kaenzig, and Raelian Priest Helene-Parent. We'll also talk to medical experts and a former Raelian who claims the whole thing is a hoax. Now, Clonaids and the Raelians, is it the real thing? That's up next. Now, if Clonaid has really produced the human clone, where's the proof? We'll talk about those claims, and later we'll meet a mother who's counting on Clonaid to produce a clone of her daughter who died tragically a year ago. Now, Thomas Kaenzig and Helene-Parent are both members of the Raelian movement, and Thomas is vice president of Clonaid. Now, Clonaid's CEO, Brigitte Boisselier, made this announcement. Please, listen.
Very, very pleased to announce that the first baby clone is born. The parents are American citizen. The mother is 31. She is the one who has been cloned, and she carried her baby.
Now, thanks for being here, both of you. And I want to say we're going to try to provoke a healthy debate today and be objective about this. Now, Thomas, you know, the real debate now, after that announcement, I mean, that's an earth-shaking announcement. The debate and the questions from journalists worldwide, not just here in America, is where is the proof? Where is the baby?
We would like to provide the proof as quick and as soon as possible. You probably heard about what happened since we made the announcement. There has been this attorney in Florida asking for a guardian for the child. We've had the FDA, the SEC, different government agencies launching investigation. And that scared the parents a lot. You have to put yourself in the mind of a family who's been waiting for years, for many, many years, to have a baby. They're very happy the baby's here, but they're very concerned about what's happening right now, and they don't want to take any risk for the baby to be taken away. So we proceed as soon as possible, as soon as the family will feel safe, and then we'll go ahead.
I think, you know, the fears are legitimate, and I also think the questions are legitimate. This attorney in Florida has filed to be guardian of the child. Why? Why would he do that?
No, he hasn't filed for him to be guardian.
Oh.
He asked the juvenile court. It's going to be a hearing next week, and we don't want to go into specific details, but he would like to have a guardian appointed for the child, saying that the child's being exploited. And that's very funny because we don't show the child on TV saying, hey, here it is, and we don't exploit it. He also said if the child might have some problems, some physical problems, that's another reason why it should be have a guardian for it. And I hope that all people with handicapped children will write to Siegel and tell him this is really a big insult. How could you say, just in case the baby would have any problem, it should have a guardian? Would that mean that any parent having a handicapped child should be having the child taken away. How could they do that?
Which is truly unfair. If you had a Down syndrome baby or something, I guess the concern is that, you know, so far the sheep that was cloned rapidly aged and that there's been problems in the past with cloning. But no law I know exists on the books now that says just because you were successful in cloning a child, that that child should be taken away by the state. If I were the parents, I would say, here's the child, here's a swab of the DNA, let's get it tested, it's our baby, we'll fight this lawyer.
Yes. And you're very correct that we would be very happy to do things. You're saying there's no law against cloning. Perfect. Why has this attorney launched this lawsuit? Why did all the government agencies launch their actions? Why in South Korea?
Well, they have every right to investigate, you know, behind it, the actions,
there's nothing illegal. And put yourself, also look back in time. When Louisa Brown, the first test tube baby, was born 25 years ago, we had exactly the same reaction. People didn't understand IVF, in vitro fertilization.
Right.
We had the same ethical concerns. People were saying it was dangerous. And the identity of Louisa Brown had to be kept secret for many, many years. And we see the same thing happen again with cloning. Now, we hope that people understand who can really benefit from the technology. And that's what the most important that we're going to talk about. When we talk about reproductive cloning, we talk about infertile couples. We talk about homosexual couples. We talk about people with AIDS who don't want to pass on the disease to their child nor to their partner. We talk about people who lost a child. And we talk about singles who don't want to have a partner and still like to have a child with their own genes. That's the people we talk about.
Huge amount of possibilities and potential.
And those people have a sincere interest.
Right.
And they're looking forward so much to this technology. And this is just reproductive human cloning. Let's talk about therapeutic human cloning. You have people in a wheelchair who will be able to walk again thanks to this technology. Are you going to tell them it's unethical, it shouldn't be done? That's ridiculous. And we just see the same reaction like anything new.
It's similar like the debate of stem cell research and stuff like that. Let me ask you, Mary Ellen, you're a Raelian priest. Tell me a little bit about how you joined the movement, and tell me a little bit about cloning.
Yes, because it's two different things.
Right.
You have the Raelian movement, you have this company that is completely separate. And in the company, there is scientists. This is not the Raelian who just go there and try to make a clone. It is a professional scientists who are out there and they know what they're doing. And I read the messages of the Israel in Israel in 1978. That's quite a long time ago. And when I read the book, I said, wow. Because I was Catholic, I was believing in God, and finally I couldn't understand who he was. Who is this guy, you know?
You were a Catholic?
Yes,
right.
I was raised Catholic. And I was very religious, and I keep on being religious, and we have a very high level of spirituality as a Raelian. But finally I couldn't understand that the people who created us, it's not just a big being sitting on a cloud with a magic stick in 6 days creating everything. Finally, those are people like us. It's in the Bible, the Elohim. It means those who came from the sky. It's Hebrew, and it's plural. And they created us on their image after their likeness. They're like us. They're human beings, but they're so advanced scientifically that what they can do is like a miracle to us. So
that's the Raelian philosophy, that a very gentle, sophisticated people from another planet came here. Now, we have a little bit of tape from Rael, and let's listen to this.
Right now, cloning is just the possibility to have a twin brother. Right now, what we can do, what is possible to do, and what I hope Dr. Sid will do, is to create a baby. The next step is when you can, through a process which does exist on the Elohim planet, and which will be discovered on Earth for sure, is what they call accelerated growth process. Accelerated growth process is to be able to create directly an adult from one of your cells. The third step, and this is the one the most interesting, is when you will be able to transfer your memory and personality directly in the individual you obtain through accelerated growth process. Then it's really yourself, with your memory, with your personality, in a new body.
Now, the last thing that he said is probably one of the most fascinating things, is that you could almost create immortality with this process, right?
You can.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back. We've got a lot to talk about here. There's so many aspects of this. And coming up next, we're going to meet a desperate mother who's been corresponding with Clonaid over the internet. with the hope that it can bring back her deceased daughter to life. She says she can't wait to meet Thomas for the first time. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
There is such an empty when you lose a child you can't recover from. And to have a twin of her would fill that. It would take a lot to replace in my heart. Don't think I can go on another day